Hey everybody, Jill here, aka the Mentor Mom, and welcome to my channel where I share the foundational knowledge, skills, and strategies that parents need to raise successful, happy kids. Today we are going to be talking about parenting self-care. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk self-care. So what do you think of when you hear the term self-care? I'll share what I used to think of when I was a younger mom. I used to think of things like taking a bubble bath or going out for a girls' night or reading a book while the kids were at Grandma and Grandpa's for a night or a weekend. But I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit deeper. And yes, those things do help fill our wells. I'm always telling parents that we can't give what we don't have, and that we need to prioritize filling our wells so that we can be better parents and the parents that we want to be to our kids. So yeah, those things I just mentioned do fill our wells, but kind of temporarily. They're not a long-term fix. So there are lots and lots of different blog posts and articles out there that talk about other forms of self-care, and they say things like, don't do things that you don't really feel like doing, getting rid of toxic relationships, living a life of gratitude. And again, those are all important types of self-care that we need to do for ourselves. But today I want to talk about one different aspect of self-care that affects a lot of parents, myself included, and that is trying to be everything to everyone. So bear with me because I'm going to get real here. So this last year has been a tough one for lots of parents, myself included. My kids may be young adults, but that doesn't make parenting any easier, which, sorry to send that spoiler out to all of you with younger kids, it's still hard in a different way. So my kids, like lots of others, have struggled with anxiety and depression and feeling lonely and isolated, and the coping strategies that they had in place prior to the pandemic, they're not working as well, for a lot of different reasons. And I think that's true for a lot of us. And so then you add on top of that the stress of, for me and my husband, of running a restaurant during the pandemic, as well as all of the many other responsibilities that we have in our lives with family and our other work situations and taking care of a home. It's been a really, really overwhelming and frustrating time for us. And there's probably a little dab of depression in there that neither one of us would really like to admit to it, or at least me. So my epiphany came when, at the beginning of the school year, I was talking with a really dear friend, and she was asking how I was doing. And I said, I'm exhausted. And I remember two distinct things that I said that really kind of made me think, like, I gotta address this. And one of them was, I told her I couldn't remember the last time anybody had asked me how I was doing in my family. And the second thing was that I realized and had told her I can't be everything to everybody. And my mind was kind of blown in that moment. So I want to kind of delve into that a little bit more. So first of all, let me clarify. I don't want any of you to think that my family and my kids are ungrateful, self-centered individuals, because that is the furthest thing from the truth. My dilemma is really of my own making, because I've positioned myself over the years to be kind of the rock, the foundation of the family. And I'm not complaining. I want to be there for my family, and I stepped into that role. I created that role as a mom. But the way that I did it was really not the healthiest way for me or for them. So I want to elaborate on my first epiphany there. So obviously my family asks me how I'm doing. They ask me all the time. However, I always have responded with the typical, I'm fine, even when I wasn't, right? I think there's probably a lot of us out there that do that. Well, I've finally started being honest when they ask me how I'm doing, and they kind of look at me like a deer in headlights. They don't know how to respond, because for 20 some years, I have taught them that they didn't need to, and that I didn't need them when I was feeling overwhelmed. So it really isn't their fault. It's mine, that they stopped asking, because why would you ask somebody who always responds, I'm fine? So what I'm kind of realizing here later in life is that always trying to be the strong one is really about not being honest about the rough days and letting them know the needs in the moment. And it's really a disservice to myself and to them. I've never really given them the opportunity to learn how to support me in those moments because I've always felt like I needed to support everybody else. You know, I'm fine, hid, I'm falling apart on the inside, and I need someone to put their arm around me while I cry. Instead, I'm fine led to them giving me space, which is probably what my mood and my body language indicated was appropriate, but it really wasn't what I wanted. So it's kind of like when your partner says, you know, what do you want to do tonight? And you say, I don't care. And you really do. You really know where you want to go. You need to speak up, right? And I don't know why. In all of those other reasons, I have no problem doing that. But for some reason, asking for help when I'm struggling has been difficult to do with my family. I don't know if I didn't want to seem weak to them. I'm really not sure. I'm still trying to kind of process through that. So again, I really want to be clear that I have an amazing husband and children that love me very much. And this is one thing that I know for sure. And I want to make sure that you all know I'm not complaining about them being insensitive or unsupportive, because that's just not the case. The message I'm really trying to convey is I haven't let them support me during my struggles because I cling to this stupid role of being strong that I created on my own. So the other things that I've learned is that my actions were not only unfair to me, but they were unfair to my family, especially my children. In unwittingly taking away their opportunity to learn how to support me, I've taken away the opportunity for them to learn how to support the most important people in their lives. I mean, imagine if I'd been honest with them, telling them what I needed and how to support me, and how that would impact their relationships with their future spouses and with their own children. I mean, what a gift it would give them, right? So, you know, again, maybe this post doesn't resonate with you, but maybe it would. You think of, you know, if you think about it, maybe it sounds a lot like your spouse, or maybe your mom or your sister or your best friend. So if so, please share. Yeah, get a little teary-eyed thinking about this one. So in closing, as we prepare to head into a new year, my hope is really that when making your resolutions or setting your goals for the year, that you add this bit of self-care to your to-do list. So for those of you who've committed yourself to the role of being the family rock, please remember, self-care means being completely honest with your family on your darkest days. And it means helping your family learn how to support you when you're struggling, whether that's a hug, needing to be left alone, or helping with things around the house, because why not throw that in while you're at it? My kids actually like to do that kind of stuff when I'm having a rough day. They like to chip in, so it does help. And finally, self-care means allowing yourself to stop trying to be everything to everybody. It is impossible. It's unfair to your family. It's unfair to you, and it is completely unhealthy. Okay, so take care of yourselves by being honest with those around you who love and support you. So that's it for today. If you're looking for more parenting insights, tips, and information, subscribe to my channel, or better yet, subscribe to my newsletter. All the information is in the links down below. Thank you for your continued love and support. Make today a great one. Until next time.